Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chapter 21, Inequalities and Regions, Exercise 21g. What is our main objective? Our main objective is to write the set of inequalities for the unshaded region. Let's start with the help of an example. Here you can see I have drawn two pictures. This picture has already the equation of the line here. It's already written. But in this case, there is no equation written for the lines, for these lines, right? So you can say that in this case, we only have to change this equation into an inequality by looking at the shaded and unshaded regions. But in this case, first you will find the equations of the lines and then you will change them into inequalities. So this one you can say it's like a two-step problem, but this one it's a one-step problem. Okay, first of all, let's look at this horizontal line. This horizontal line is touching the y-axis at 0, and the word for the horizontal line it's hoe, and clearly you can see the lower part of this is shaded. That means the y is greater than or equal to 0 because the greater numbers of y are unshaded in this area. In this region, the unshaded region, it's showing that the greater numbers are unshaded. Now look at the other line, this line. Okay, I will highlight it for you. This line, I'm talking about this line now. Now it's a vertical line. It is touching the x-axis at here on 0. So it is a case of walks, vertical line. So we will see where it is touching the x-axis. It is touching the x-axis at 0, and all the smaller numbers of x-axis are shaded, or you can say crossed, right? This side, the left side is shaded, and we have all the numbers on the right side. The numbers on the right side are always greater, so it means it's greater than or equal to 0. So we got two inequalities. Y is greater than equal to 0 and x is greater than equal to 0. And the third inequality, we have to make it from here. How we will make it? We will write 5x plus 2y, and on the other side we will just write 10. Now check this line. Is this a solid line? Yes, it is a solid line. So for the solid line, we have only less than or equal to case or greater than or equal to case. It means either I have to put this symbol or this symbol here. Now how I will decide that which symbol is we have to put over here? You have to go to this point, okay. Now from this point, clearly you can see that the greater values of y are shaded and the lower values of the y are unshaded. When the lower values are unshaded, it means you have the lower region, right? That's why you will say less than or equal to 10. This case I will discuss it later. Clear? Is this example clear for you? So let's start the question from the exercise now. Here is question number 1. Okay, first of all, decide that what are the lines that you are having. We have one horizontal line, we have one vertical line, and we have one slanting line, right? It means that I have to make three inequalities. First, we will go with the horizontal and the vertical lines because these are easy to make, right? For the vertical line, we always use the word walks, right? Then we have to check that this vertical line is touching the x-axis at which point? This is the x-axis, right? It's touching the x-axis at -1. So I have to connect x and the -1. How I will decide? Because the lower values of from here you can see the lower values of x are shaded, and I have all the greater values that are on the right side, they are unshaded. That's why x is greater than or equal to -1. Why it is greater than or equal to? Because it's a solid line. Then I will look at the horizontal line, this yellow one, right? There is a word hoe to remember that I have to write the inequality in y. For the y, I will see where the horizontal line is touching the y-axis at which point it's touching the y-axis at -2. That means y and -2 they have to be connected with the inequality symbol. Which symbol now? Clearly you can see the lower values are shaded. Below region is shaded. The upper values are unshaded, right? So that's why y is greater than or equal to -2. Clear? Now let's go to the third, the blue line. Okay, it says x plus y equals 3. So I will say x plus y and I will write 3. Now I have to put the either less than or equal to sign or greater than or equal to sign between them, right? Like this equality sign, it has to be changed either by less than or equal to or by greater than or equal to sign, right? How I will decide? I will go to this y-intercept, this point where this slanting line is touching the y-axis. Clearly you can see the greater values are not there. They are shaded. So it means we have the lower values in this area, right? So it will be x plus y less than or equal to 3, right? Now there is a way to check your answer. What can you do? You can take any of the point from here, right? Let's say this point. What are the coordinates of this point? The coordinates of this point are 1, 1, right? 1 here and 1 here. The coordinates of this point are 1, 1. You can substitute the coordinates of this point in these inequalities. If the inequality, the left hand and the right hand side are true according to the inequality, let's say for example here it's 1, 1. 1, 1 means the x value is 1 and the y value is 1. So if you will substitute over here 1, so obviously 1 is greater than or equal to negative 1. If you go with this y value 1, so 1 is greater than or equal to negative 2. Then you can put the value of x and y here. So 1 plus 1, that will give you 2. So 2 is less than or equal to 3. This shows that your answer is 100% correct, right? So what is the answer? The answer is here, this one. I will highlight for you the answer. This is the answer, because there are 3 lines that we have to write the inequalities. For those 3 lines, these 3 lines are defining this unshaded region. So there will be 3 answers. Clear? Let's solve one more question. So this is a question of the same type. Clearly you can see we have 2 lines. We have this yellow line, it has this equation, this one, right? And then we have this green line, and this is the equation for this line. Simply you have to change these equations into inequalities, right? Okay, so let's first remove this equality sign and write the equation. So it will be y, and we have to decide, okay, because it's a solid line, so either I have to put less than or equal to sign or greater than or equal to sign. So y, and on the other side you have x minus 3. So let's decide from here. From this point you can see all the greater values are shaded and the lower values here are unshaded, because you can see from here it's this area has the lower values of y and this area has the larger values of y. So it means it is the case of you have the lower area and the upper area, or you can say you have the lower region and the upper region is shaded. So that's why you will say y is less than or equal to x minus 3. Now think about the other one. Here we have the equality sign, so it means this equality sign has to be changed either into less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, because this one is also a solid line. Now from this point, look at this. If you go upward, these are unshaded, but if you go below these are all shaded. We need the equation, we need the inequality for the unshaded region. So it means the greater numbers are unshaded and the lower numbers are shaded. Lower numbers are crossed. So 2y is greater than or equal to x minus 6. So this was the case when the equations were already written in the question. Only you have to change these equations into inequalities, or you have the horizontal lines or you have the vertical lines. You have to write inequalities from the horizontal and the vertical lines. I will make another video for the same exercise explaining you the questions of this type, in which first you have to make the equation and then you have to change it into inequalities. That's all for this video. Hope you understand it. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chapter 21, Inequalities and Regions, exercise 21g. This is my second video for the exercise. What is our main objective? To write the set of inequalities for the unshaded region. So if you remember in my video number 1, I explained you this example. Now we are going to solve this type of questions in which you have to write the inequalities for all the lines that are drawn that are defining any unshaded region, and some of the lines will be slanting lines, some of the lines are going to be straight lines. So it's like a kind of a revision, because we found the equations of the slanting lines in exercise 21D. Same method we are going to follow. Like first we will find the value of C, the y-intercept, and then we will find the value of the M, the gradient, and then we will substitute these values into the basic equation, into the equation y is equal to mx plus c to find the equation of the line, and then we will change it into inequality, right? Let's start question number 5 from the exercise. It says find the inequalities defining the unshaded region. So this is the unshaded region, as you can see in the picture, and we have to write the inequalities for the lines that are you can say the boundaries for this unshaded region. So first of all, let's discuss this line because it's a horizontal line. This is the easiest one to write the inequality. For this horizontal line, we will see that there is a word y. That means I have to write the inequality in y. Then I will see where is this touching the y-axis. It is touching the y-axis at -1. So it means I have to connect y and -1. Because it's a dotted line, I have to write either the less than sign or the greater than sign. Because the lower numbers are shaded and I have the greater numbers. So that means y is greater than -1, because here the unshaded region is having the greater numbers. So we are done with this yellow line. Okay, now let's discuss the green one. For example, let's discuss this line now. Okay, so if you remember, how do we make the equation for a slanting line? First of all, we check what is the value of C. What is C? The y-intercept. The y-intercept means the point where this line is touching the y-axis. So this line is touching the y-axis at this point. The coordinates of this point are 0 and 2, but we have to write only the value of C. So I will write for the yellow, C equals, it's 2. Now I have to find the value of M. What is M? The gradient. How do we find the gradient? By finding rise over run, by using this formula. So clearly, in the last video I told you that go to the x-axis line and go to the y-axis line. Look at these points and see how many steps you have to go upward, means rise. So look at this, I have to go 2 steps upward and then I have to go 1 step right to reach on this point, right? So it's 2 up, 1 right. So you can say rise is 2 and run is 1. This is rise and this is run. Okay, so the gradient is 2. How I will write the equation now? Y is equal to mx plus c. I'll write the standard equation here. Y is equal to mx plus c. Now let's put the values into it. So the value of m here is 2. So it will be 2x plus c. The value of c is 2. Now let's change it into an inequality. How do we change it into inequality? By looking at the sign, by looking at this line. Clearly you can see the y-intercept is here, the lower values are unshaded and the upper values are shaded. That means the greater values are shaded, the cloud is shaded, and the ground is, from this point you can decide the cloud and the ground. The cloud is shaded and the ground is unshaded. So we are making the inequality for the unshaded part. So ground means lower values. So you will say y is less than or equal to 2x plus 2. Do you understand? Why it is less than or equal to? Because it's a solid line. That's why we have to write less than or equal to this symbol. Now let's make the inequality for this line, the blue one. Okay, this one. Okay, how you can make it now? Look at this again. We have to follow the same steps. Here is where is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is here. So what is the y-intercept value? It's 3. So you will say C equals 3. Now find the value of M. How? Rise over run. And to find rise over run, usually we go to the x-axis and then we go to the y-axis. or you can take any 2 points. It's not mandatory to always go to x-axis and y-axis. You can see here it's going from here, from here, from here. So you can go from this point to this point, and that will be much easier. Look at this. Why? Because you have to go just one step upward and one step right. So it will be one up, one right, one left, right? One up, one left. So when you go to the left side, it's -1. So it's 1 up and 1 left. So the final answer, 1 divided by 1, will be 1, and because the negative sign is there, so it's going to be -1. And let's say if a student wants to go from here, so you can see 1 2 3 up, 1 2 3 left. So it will become 3 over -3. That will also give you -1. So it doesn't matter like where do you start it from, but you have to go from one point to the next point, right, on the line. And do not take a point that has the decimals. Only you have to take the point that has the integer values, right, that has integers at x coordinate and y coordinate. Okay, now it's -1. Now how will you make the equation? The equation will become y equals, now this -1 is the value of x, so it will be it will go with x, so -1x plus the value of c is 3, so here you will write 3, or you can rewrite it, y is equal to -x plus 3. Now we have to change it into inequality, because clearly you can see it's a dotted line, so either I have to put the less than sign or the greater than sign, and on the other side it's -x plus 3. How will you put the values now? Okay, again go to the y-intercept. The y-intercept, you have the lower values in the unshaded area, and the greater values are shaded. So this shows that you have taken the lower values of y, right? So it will become y is less than -x plus 3. Sometimes they write it, they move this x to the other side and they write it as y plus x is less than 3. Right, so this one is also correct, this one is also correct, because only they are moving the x to this side. Okay, so here are the 3 answers. This is the answer, this is the first inequality, this is the second inequality, and this is the third inequality. Okay, now I will tell you an easy way, especially for this line, the one that I'm going to highlight now with the blue color, this one. Clearly you can see that this line is, here it's touching the y-axis at 3, and here it is touching the x-axis at 3, and it is going from left to the right downward, right? So in this case, always it's very easy to write the equation. It is x plus y equals 3. This is the equation, like without finding the value of c, without finding the value of m, you can directly write this equation. I'm talking about this side, this one. Okay, so here you can directly say x plus y is equal to 3, and then you can make the inequality x plus y is less than 3, right? So this is also the correct answer. This one is correct, this one is correct, both are correct, right? So the way that is easy for you, you can go with that way, you can use that way. Okay, here's another question, question number 7 from the book. Now better pause the video here. What you have to do, you have 2 lines, right? So find that here is the y-intercept for this line. Okay, I'll shade. Okay, this is the yellow one. So here is the y-intercept for the yellow one, and here is the y-intercept for the green one. Here is the weight. Maybe it will not be clear for you. So here is the y-intercept for the for this line, and here is the y-intercept for this line, the yellow one. Okay, now better pause the video here, make the equations, and then we will make the inequalities for these lines. Here is the answer for both the inequalities. I mean, here are both the inequalities. Okay, the first one, if you notice that here, let's say if I go with this color, you can see this is the y-intercept, it's 3, and this is the x-intercept, right? So I will go 3 steps up and then 1 step right. So it will become 3 out of 1, that will be 3. And the y-intercept, the value of c is 3. So the equation will become y is equal to 3x. Here in place of m I will put 3, and in place of c we have also 3. So it will be 3x plus 3. Now from the y-intercept, I can see the lower values where my cursor is moving right now. I will show you here. The lower values are unshaded. That's why you will say y is less than 3x plus 3. And why not less than or equal to? Because it's a dotted line. Clear? Now if you look at the second line, this one, here is the y-intercept, it's on -3. So I wrote c is equal to -3. How I will find the y-intercept? I will go to the value of m, the gradient. I will go to the x-axis, and then I can see 1, 2, 3 steps up, 1 step right. So it will become 3 over 1, that is 3. So finally y is equal to 3x plus 3, and y is greater than 3x plus 3. Why greater than? Because here from the y-intercept you can see the upper values are unshaded and the lower values are shaded. That's why you will say it's greater than. This is the case of greater than. That's all for this video. Hope you understand it.